Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of T-Dog RC. This is a special episode and I'm very excited for this build series that's coming up because this is something that I've always wanted to do for many years since I've been into RC, and I've finally got round to getting one, and that is I've got myself a real gas turbine turbojet jet engine, the real deal, Xicoy X45. Extremely excited. This is brand spanking new, and we're going to talk about in this episode the model I'm going to be putting in and all the equipment that I've bought, and it's a little bit of clickbait or the elephant in the room, whatever you want to call it, because I have said that can you do it on a budget. Obviously these things are very expensive, so you kind of can't really do it on a budget, but the rest of it I am trying to do on a bit of a budget just to see if I can do it in terms of the model and all that sort of stuff. So that's what we're going to be having a look at in this episode. I'm not going to be doing a full unboxing of this. I'm going to have another video of that where I unbox it and do a full test run of this on the bench. But we are going to be having a look at, you know, a bit of what's in the box, the model I'm going to be putting it in, and all the components I've had to buy to make it work. And then of course as this series goes on, we'll be following along as I build the model or assemble the model, get the engine installed, and then of course through to the maiden flight, which I'm sure is going to be very nerve-wracking. So if that sounds good to you and you're into fixed wing RC and you want to follow along, then please hit the subscribe button, and of course if you enjoy the video then hit the like button, because that really helps me out as well. I'd love to have you on board as a subscriber. It doesn't cost you anything, and hopefully you'll enjoy following along. Right, without further ado, let's get this on the bench, let's get the other box out, and let's have a look at what we've got. Okay, so first up then, let's have a look at the engine. As I said, I've kind of labelled this video jet engine on a budget, but as I'm sure you're all aware, these things are very expensive, but the rest of the stuff that I'm looking at is kind of on a budget. Eventually, I will put this in something a bit more expensive in terms of the model, but I just wanted to do it this way just to get started basically. But this is a Xicoy X45 turbojet engine, brand spanking new. It's 45 Newton meters, hence the X45, which equates to about 4.5 kilos of thrust, or 10 pounds of thrust. Let's have a look at some of the stats on the back. So 60,000 idle RPM. It's a tiny little thing, only weighs 400 grams. Uses kerosene or diesel. That's why I went for the Xicoy, because I was going to run it on diesel, but I've since decided to run it on kerosene. But anyway, there we are. What else have we got here? It doesn't actually tell you the max RPM. Oh, it does. It's 225,000 RPM, which is absolutely crazy. And I read on the instructions somewhere that once it's going at full revs, it will suck enough air to suck the air out of a dustbin, an entire dustbin, every second or something nuts like that. So it does actually give you a warning of careful where you use it, because you could find if you ran it up in the wrong place, it could literally suck the air out of the room, which is pretty mental. But I won't be running it indoors anyway, of course, so that's fine. So we'll have a quick look in the box. This is brand new, as I said. I will be doing a separate unboxing, like full unboxing video of this, and a run-up video, all in the same video, because I've not really got everything out of this. So this is how it comes packed. Whoops, all very nice. You get a little quick start guide with it, but there is a more in-depth one on their website, which I've downloaded and read from cover to cover, and I recommend that you're going to do that. But yeah, have a look at this. We'll just get the engine itself out for now. You just cannot believe until you see it how small it is. As you can see, this is still all sealed up, lovely, brand new, wrapped up. I'm not going to open it now. We'll do that in the other video. But it's just crazy. It's so small. It's literally the size of a Coke can, pretty much, and kind of weighs about the same as a full one. Really nice looking thing, purple anodized at the front. Yeah, so really excited to get this on the bench and get it up and running. Gonna have to do that one when the neighbours are not around. So that's the engine we're going to be putting in. Let's have a look at the actual plane itself. Right, well I can't quite fit it on the camera. This is the best I can do at the moment, but there's really only one option when it comes to this sort of thing, and this is where the budget, in inverted commas, comes in, because I'm not talking about a several £1,000 composite model or something like that. It's a relatively cheap foamy, the Avanti SV2 from Freewing, superb model. The Avanti S is one of the best selling three-wing models. I think EDF's, everyone loves it, and they recently brought out the V2 version, and it's absolutely ripe for the turbine conversion. This is an 80mm one, so the turbine goes straight in basically, and then we've got some other bits to have a look at. But this jet flies really well, really stable, super quick in the right configuration. So really this was the only choice. So let's have a quick look what we've got in the box for this. I mean, it's a fairly standard Avanti EDF. There's nothing special about this model at all. The good thing about these though is Freewing do two options. They either do a PMP version, which comes with the fan unit and the power unit, or they do this one, which I think is classed as ARF Plus, and it comes with everything but the power unit. So it's perfect. It's almost like they know people are going to buy these to put turbines in them, or different types of you know, more uprated fans and things like that. So it's the perfect model for this particular situation. Okay, so hopefully you can see that okay. Now, we're not doing a full unboxing because that's not what this video is about, but let's have a look at some of the things that make this a great model for a turbine conversion. So you do get a nice instruction manual with the Freewing stuff. So first up really is, you probably can't see that well, this is the new, like I say, it's the V2 version, so it's got pretty nice new design compared to the old one. That's actually what I didn't like about the Freewing Avanti, the old one. I never liked either of the paint schemes they did, either the white one or the sort of yellow one they did. Just never thought were that nice. But one of the things that this has got really, which is really nice, is these really nice machined undercarriage. So they're really quite good quality undercarriage, which is obviously important with something like a turbine model. And it also has metal gear digital servos. Again, now granted, these aren't probably the best quality. If you were really spending money on a turbine model, then you'd probably put some, you know, high-end, high voltage servos. But we're not doing that in this case, because we're just going to fly this stock as it is. But it does have nice control linkages, so it's got ball joints and quick keepers there. So they're good solid connections, which again is the sort of thing that you want for this kind of model. So we'll get the wings out, and then let's have a look at this fuselage. Let's just get him out of the bag. So let's just see if I can, let me just swing the camera around. Okay, I think that's a bit of a better view for you there. So as I've said, this is the ARF Plus version that they do. So it does include, as we've seen, all of the electronics, and the servos are pre-installed. Obviously got this nice machined metal nose wheel there as well, which is nice quality. But critically, it doesn't include the power plant, which is ideal. And what we can do is, it has a hatch here, so let me just quickly get that undone. Okay, so we just unscrew that, and that comes out. And then here we are, we've got that space ready there, and basically the turbine's literally just going to slot into there. We might have to do a few modifications. I can't quite remember where it is, but I need to check on a couple of the videos on YouTube. But you do have to trim away some of this foam, I think. But we'll come to that anyway as we start the build. I think it's for the fuel tank. But so we've got all that space in there anyway, and the turbine's going to sit in there real nice. And then obviously in the main hatch here, again, we've got loads of room in the hatch. I think it's probably these bits from memory that you have to cut away, these two sort of bits of foam that stick out. and that allows you to push the fuel tank back in there, I believe. As I say, I need to check all that. Obviously there's no instructions for doing this. There are a couple of videos out there with some sort of tutorials on, so I'll be watching those as well, and then of course once I've done mine, people can watch mine. But yeah, loads of room in here for all the electronics, because we've got a fuel pump to put in here, we've got the sort of turbine control ECU and that sort of thing that's going to sit in here. So there's a few extra bits that you would have in here, as well as the receiver, etc. But as foam models go, Freewing are up there with one of the best. So this is a really nice quality model, although as I said, it's not like a £3,000, £4,000, £5,000 or dollar composite turbine model. But as far as foam models go, this one's about as good as quality as you can get, and it's got some nice bright lights on it as well for navigation. So there's one up here, there's one at the bottom, so all these things, you know, when you're going at speed, are going to help you fly it. So that is the model. Let's move on to having a look at all the components I've got for this and what's actually going to be going inside this to convert it to the turbine. Okay, let's have a look what's going inside the model then, and crucially what's going to allow me to actually convert this thing to a turbine from an EDF. And the reason for that is there is a kit available. Pretty sure it's by Castle RC. I'll put a link in the description. I'll put a link into the description for all the sort of stuff I've bought for this, the engine, the model, etc. So if you're interested in doing it yourself, you can have a look. So I had to order this from overseas, but they do a special Avanti turbine conversion kit, and in this kit, it's not ridiculously expensive either. I can't quite remember what it is, but it's not a lot. You get a twin walled turbine tube, and it's really good that this is a twin wall one. As you can see there, you've got sort of the sandwiched metal there, and that's really important, because you don't need to put, you don't need to worry about the exhaust exit in the model, because obviously it's foam. It would normally melt if you put a hot turbine in there, but because this is a twin wall one, it will stop the heat from radiating out and basically stop it from melting. So you don't have to like do anything special to the back of the model, cover it in aluminium foil tape or whatever. You don't need to do that with this. So it comes with that. It comes with a selection of laser cut parts, and these are various bits and bobs here. There's some bases for your gear. There's mounts for the fuel tank. There's it's got here canopy mod template, so I think you can use that to cut some foam out of the canopy on the Avanti. And then you've got your formers which fit into the exhaust tube on the model, and then allow this to sit inside those like that. So you'll secure these in place and then slide the exhaust tube in. So quite a nice little kit really, that you get all that there. They do include, there you go, it says Avanti on it, so it's specifically designed for this. They do include this reflective heat tape, and that's to go around the engine bay where the engine's actually going to sit, not necessarily on the exhaust. And then a nice big fuel tank and a bubble trap, again specially designed for the Avanti. So we'll go into all this as part of the series that I'm going to do. I'll show you how I install all this and what each of these components does if you're new to turbines like I am. And then we've got various components here for the fuel tank. So we've got a clunk, Tygon tubing, all that sort of stuff to go inside. That's all there as well. So that was the kit. And, you know, quite nice that it comes in a nicely packed box like that, all everything you need there. Okay, and then let's move on to some of the other bits and bobs that I have bought for this. So I bought some additional tubing. There's various widths and diameters and things like that, so I'm not entirely sure until I get into it what exactly I need, so I just bought a selection. Same with that, although some of this I have bought to make myself a pump base fuel filler system for taking to the field, for actually putting the kerosene in and filling it up. So I think that's why I bought this Tygon tube. That's not for the model, that's for my pump system I'm going to make. And again, that's what all these things are for as well. So I've got filters and bits and bobs like that. I bought some safety wire, so just a reel of that. That is to tie around everything. You know, in the fuel tank, you want to make sure everything's tied, so there's no risk of the tubing coming off. Now this is quite important. This is a fuel shut-off valve, and you need this for when you're filling the models. So I've purchased one of those. And then there's just a Prolux pump there, which again is for my fuel can, not the model. And then the other thing I've picked up is just the FreeSky Tandem. This is an R10 receiver. I think it's just the R10, or is it? No, it's an SR10, so it's the stabilised version. And as you know, if you follow the channel, I'm a big fan of the new FreeSky X20 and the systems that it uses, particularly because of the redundancy built into it. So this is a dual frequency receiver, so with it being the tandem range, it uses 2.4 gigs and 900 megs at the same time to give you that redundancy. So really nice bit of kit, and this also has stabilisation built in. So we'll be having a look at that. And I think that is it. There's nothing else in here, because obviously all the servos and everything are included in the model, so we don't need any of that stuff. So that's all the kit. This is going to be an exciting build. I hope you're going to follow along. If you're not a subscriber, then hit the subscribe button. I did want to start this at the beginning of the summer and hopefully fly it over the summer, but we're just heading into September now when I'm filming this, and it's actually just started today. Literally it's the first day it started to feel a bit cold as well. So who knows? I'll definitely try and maiden it this year, unless for whatever reason I don't get my time's pretty limited at the minute with getting into the workshop and working on these sorts of things. But if it gets to sort of November, December, then I'll probably wait until the new year. So I'm really excited about doing this. It's a proper sort of bucket list thing for me when it comes to RC fixed wing. I've always wanted a turbine, and I'm hoping that this will be the first of many. Who knows? So if you're excited as I am to follow along with this, then hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, and if you hit the bell icon as well, you'll get notified when I bring the next video out, particularly if you decided to follow along to this series. I will create a playlist as well on my YouTube channel. I've not got one for Turbine, of course, so I'll create a Turbine playlist and stick all the videos in there. Thank you very much to all those people who currently support the channel. I get some great comments. I really appreciate everyone that takes the time to comment. If you've got any tips, if you've done this before maybe, then stick those in the comments. They'll all be welcome. And if you've got any questions about anything, then stick those in the comments as well. I always make sure I respond to everyone's comments. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I will see you soon for the next one.